Hello, this is Forecast Geo reporting in about the Ebola situation and some prepping and common sense preparations, survival suggestions you may want to do right now while you can easily obtain these items before there's a mad rush to get them. We believe this mad rush will happen in the next month or so as Ebola continues to spread dramatically. Right here is looking at an article August 1st from the New York Times stating from the World Health Organization, Organization, the leader basically said Ebola is outpacing efforts to control it. That's an accurate comment. If you look at the death rate and the infection rate, it is rocketed up in the last 2 to 3 weeks. That's about the incubation period too, is about 2 weeks on this thing. I believe over the next 2 weeks to a month, we're going to see it really jump dramatically. And they simply have not very well contained this thing, unfortunately. It's not totally their fault. These are economically very strapped type countries. And the international community, frankly, needs to be doing a lot more to help them out in their real time of need. This is going to spin into a global catastrophe here very shortly. Our own leadership here in the United States is not doing the best job keeping it out of the United States. We just brought some people over to Atlanta to help them, and obviously we should help them, but we should help them not in the United States. We should help them over in Africa and provide services there. All right, so here's the outbreak map, and it's spreading quite quickly up to the border of Mali now and Ivory Coast. A guy that was an American went to Liberia. Excuse me, he went to this West Africa area, and then he flew to Nigeria, where he then died after getting Ebola. He was about to fly back to the United States on a jet. So we're pretty close. Incidents like that illustrate we're close to having something come back. Imagine someone is an exchange student from an Ebola infected area, and they've gotten a nice Fulbright scholarship to come to the United States and study. Now, you might think that that's silly, but that was actually Obama's dad had a scholarship from Kenya to come study in the United States. So it's not that uncommon, all right? And we've got all these study abroad students coming from all kinds of countries. And guess what? We're about to hit into back to school season here in a few weeks, about a month from now. This is early August we're recording. A month from now, we're going to be getting really into full swing into back to school season. And Ebola is basically undetectable in the incubation phase, if you will, for 2 days to 21 days. You don't show the symptoms of it. At that point, they can be spreading their body fluids to other people. And same thing with kids in kindergarten. If people move to another country and they start kids in kindergarten, you know, kids in preschool and kindergarten, they're just they've got snot running down their face and all that. And so the idea that there's going to be precaution against the kids, with the opportunity to get Ebola is just out the door, especially for kindergarten, but also with the colleges. They're interacting with people from all over the world and whatnot, and with the study abroad programs and with foreign students. I believe these two areas are likely going to be a strong gateway between this and also international business centers in the cities and the airports will be likely the entry port of Ebola in the United States. And on the current vector that it's on, it's going to happen in the next month or two. It's like a matter of time. And we need to get ready because our government, frankly, has not done everything they can to get us ready. The situation in Atlanta is a very dangerous precedent to set. Again, they should have treated the guy on a quarantined vessel on a boat off the coast. There's no reason to bring him onto the mainland. That was completely irresponsible. If you're looking for some gear that you might want to consider getting, and this is basically what they use in both in NBC warfare, biohazard, or hazmat type recovery, you want to be looking at stuff like you can get it's called a Tychem suit, and this is if you want to get one, you might have to get a couple of them if you can afford it. I'm looking on eBay right now. I just typed in Tychem, T-Y-C-H, which is Tyvek Chemical, is what it stands for. Tyvek is a DuPont material, and they make like a bunny suit or a jumpsuit. And you might want to look for something like this. Would be a fully enclosed, encapsulated suit is the best thing. Under that, there's a respirator, but the preferred thing is the oxygen mask. A company called Scott makes this kind of like scuba type thing, and so does MSA, a competitor to Scott. MSA or Scott, and they provide basically like a fireman's gear thing. If you were to bug out in a bug out situation, in a pandemic situation where they lock down the city, you might have to use something like that. These are pretty expensive once you get the Scott thing, but for not much money, you could probably get a Tyvek jumpsuit for like $10 or $20, and that might help protect you a lot. All right, so for less money, depending on what your budget is on prepping, an extra Tyvek suit or two probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Some N95 masks. You need these for bioparticulates and screening out other like the flu or bird flu anyway. Having one or two of these under your jumpsuit probably be a good idea. These are going to be probably hard to get, these kind of things here in the coming weeks. All right, and watch the prices go up if you can get them. Plastic gloves. Ideally, you get the ones that go all the way up your elbow that are for biohazard. These aren't those types, but you got to start somewhere, right? Plastic sheeting for your home in case you have to bug in for a while and then head to your bug out location. Be a good thing to look for. Right now is a good time to also be working on your bug out plans. We've still got some time in summertime left, and you can go on a kind of a camp out or look for a place that you might have as a winter rental. Maybe it's a ski lodge that you might head out to in the wintertime if the thing spins out of control in flu season. And there's a couple books you want to read. One's Strategic Relocation. And again, if you're on a pretty tight budget, you can just watch the movie on there it is. You can just watch the movie Strategic Relocation on YouTube, and this is annoying. So think about that. Just go on YouTube and type in Strategic Relocation. But this guy right there, Joel Skousen, has a great book also called Strategic Relocation, and a summary of it is summarized on YouTube in his movie. Another thing you want to do is start saving your old clothes. And if Ebola breaks out and you have to go through like a quarantine or some other event, they're going to take your clothes. When your clothes get infected, or if you've been near any suspected contact person, they take your clothes, they got to destroy them and burn them, pretty much, is the process. Same thing with any NBC warfare type event. If you're in a nuclear war and you get thawed on your clothing, they're done. You got to trash them, and you need a backup set of cheap survival clothes. So instead of, at the end of the summer, people kind of trash their summer clothes sometimes, or they get rid of it. Maybe it's worn out, they went camping. You might want to instead archive those in like an extra old suitcase and have it ready to go in your go gear. Okay, so that's really something to think about also. Okay, so here's that movie on strategic relocation. So it's a 2-hour movie. Please watch it. It really explains the process of strategic relocating. His book's on Amazon. It's not too much money. I got it. It's a pretty good book. Read up a little bit on NBC warfare. The things that happen in a pandemic are interrelated to what happens to NBC survival, because there's the bio right there part. NBC, also known as CBRN, which is chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear event. CBRN is another nicknames for NBC survival. So NBC, but the military's got a lot of good books and useful stuff out there on NBC warfare. So does our friends at FEMA, actually. You might want to read the FEMA book. If you can't find it, go to our website. It's forecastyear.com. We've got some good PDFs and ebooks there to get started on survival stuff and also NBC warfare type events. Some of them are the FEMA ones, some of the military type ones, what to do. So these are interrelated preps. As you're prepping for an Ebola pandemic, you're also prepping for a nuclear or chemical disaster. By the way, we've had quite a few other, between 3 Mile Island, Fukushima, and other type of events. These problems, unfortunately, are not going away. This one's just coming to the forefront now in a big way. Another book you might want to check out is called Bugout. He actually does tell you the process of how to bug out physically and what kind of preps you need to be doing, because it's kind of a complicated process, and how you need to think ahead on it. Now, again, with summer still in full swing and people going on vacation, there's still a little bit of vacation time to go out on a camp out or go to a cabin in the woods, some other vacation destination. that's in a rural area that you can bug out to if we have a pandemic, and stay safe that way. You might want to watch a movie called Contagion. It actually does describe pretty well what happens in a pandemic situation. This is actually a pretty good movie that describes some scenarios, the fear factor that happens in society, and what's going on as people try to protect themselves and their family and things. So this actually explains a lot of those scenarios pretty well. So I would check that out as one of your preps, and be of sound mind. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to get necessarily a Scott or a Tychem suit. It'd be nice too, but you could get like one of these Tyvek jumpsuits. It's like less than $10, and that would probably be a common sense thing to get. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. Please also see our website, forecastgear.com. We've got some good survival and prep stuff. Our history of predicting trends is pretty good given the vector of current events, and given the vector this thing is on, it looks really serious. So please take some common sense things to get ready. You need not spend a lot of extra money to do it, unless you have the extra money, in which case it would probably be good to go the more lush route. Wouldn't be a bad investment either. Thanks so much.